Hey there folks, it's Shirley Young here, and Shirley, welcome to my channel. I've decided to come on today on this lovely sunny Sunday afternoon in Scotland, and I'm just going to do a little card for you, and it's just going to be monochrome. And I know that, or I think that Quite Curvy is probably retired, but I just always like to look at a lot of the smaller stamps that sometimes get overlooked. So I have been looking at this one, and I'd come up with these nice patterns, and I thought that was really pretty. So I thought I'd come on this morning and just do a 6x4 card with these patterns, and we just make a nice kind of monochrome card. So I've got my little stamp, which is this one here, part of the, as I say, the Quite Curvy stamp set, which I think has retired or is retiring. And I've just popped that stamp onto a block, and I'm just going to use black memento. You could use a colour if you wanted, but I just thought it might be quite nice just to do a bit of monochrome. So you could do any pattern you wanted. You could make it into like what I class these as kinds of florals. You could do it down one side, you could do it along the bottom, you know, you could just do it any way you wanted. So I'm going to make these same shapes, and I'm going to do it slightly different. I think I'm going to do it diagonally across this white piece that I've cut out. So my base card is 6 inches by 4, and I'm going to make it landscape. And then I've got a piece that is black card, and I've changed my blades recently, but I still seem to be getting this tearing, but I guess that doesn't really matter. So that is, what did I say, that is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then I've got another piece of basic white, which is 5.5 by 3.5, and then we will add a sentiment. So I'm going to pop that to the side because this is the part we're going to be stamping onto. So as I say, I'm just using the black Tuxedo Black Memento to do it. As I say, you could use a colour, of course, you could change it up, and you could have coordinating cardstock with coordinating ink and so on, or you can mix your colours. It's entirely up to you. I just fancy doing that black and white. So what I do is I just start with, I'm going to do it diagonally on that one. Obviously I did it just randomly, like a bit of a one sheet wonder, because I was just kind of playing at that point. But I'm hoping to do it from that corner to that corner diagonally. So to make this shape, what I did was I would stamp 3 and then infill the spaces. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to start here. So 1 there. Oh, I just went and got a black mark. I'm sure I can hide that. 1 there. So that's your 2, and then 1 there, and then 1 at that part here, and then, oh, that one didn't stamp very well. You can go back over these because they are polymer and you can see through. And then I just filled in the spaces like so to make that type of floral shape. So, and that was how I did it. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to start down a bit. So I'm looking for it to go, so I need to go in a bit. So one there, one there. So basically it's 3 at the top and then add 1 to the bottom, so you make 4. Try and keep the middle stem quite near together, and then just infill these spaces with the stamp. And I just thought it made a very pretty floral. You know, try and think out of the box. You know, yes, you can use the stamps that are there as the actual stamp, but think of other ways that you can use them to make other designs. So it's going a bit off here, so we'll just pop that one there. Like so. And then just infill all your pieces. Mine has gone slightly off. I probably should have had that one slightly higher up, but no worries. That's how we learn. So just infill that. So that's what I kind of am aiming for, but because I've kind of done it a bit squint, I'm going to start again on the other side. I'll flatten these curves off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle this time, just so I can hopefully keep that horizontal line. I think it's still going to be slightly off, but no worries. So just quickly stamp this up. Okay, I'm going to start one here. So I think the best way to do it, I mean, you might find a different way if you do decide to do this, of, you know, doing it. But this is the way I think is better for me, certainly. You know, to try and do the 3 first and then do the 1 down below. Because just for me, that is easier, and I think it was easier for perhaps everybody else to just do it like that, so that's better. Still a bit off the diagonal, wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I think we're just going to have to come in up here somewhere. Perhaps for a diagonal, maybe we should pop something down first as a guideline. Perhaps that's the answer. I actually thought I'd be able to do this quite easily as a diagonal, but obviously not, because I haven't really practiced it as a diagonal. I just practiced it randomly. But I mean, that's okay. It's okay. But I'm not entirely happy with that, so we'll pop that to the side and we'll try again. So I'll need to cut this to size. So just get my trimmer. And I said that was 5.5 by, I think, 3.5. That's right. Okay, I've got that right. Let's put this back over here. So that should be the same size now, basically. Yep, that's fine. So let's start again. I've lost the stamp. So perhaps we could do something. Draw a line in pencil. It's very faint, and then we can rub it out afterwards. So just trying to get my ruler out, and I'm just getting a pencil, and perhaps that's the way ahead, because maybe it's not as easy to do it visually as I thought it might be. So just go from whatever diagonal corner you want to go, and just very faintly just put your line in, really faintly, just so that you can rub it out afterwards. Let's see if that works. Let's hope it works. So just inside, what I'm going to do is a diagonal line, a diagonal mark all the way down. That's my first. Then I'm going to do that, that, oh, that, and then going to do one at this side. Try and keep them closer, surely. One at that side, yep, that's better. And then we'll do the ones at the bottom. And then we can do the infill. And I think that is a wee bit better. I mean, I do a lot of stuff just by eyeballing, but I couldn't actually do that, which I thought I might be able to, but I couldn't. So I think we've made the brief now. Well, my brief anyway. So just infill in between, as I say. And you know, this is a lovely little stamp, and so many of the smaller stamps I feel get overlooked when you can make so many nice, like even just doing this with one little stamp, you know. Yep. So what we're going to do now is we're going to rub out, if I can find my rubber, which is probably not here. It's probably not on the table. I don't think this rubber at the end of my pencil is particularly good, but no, it's not the best rubber. My rubber is actually in somewhere else. It's not on my desk, which I should have actually thought about first. This isn't the best rubber to rub out with, but I can sort that later. So what I want to do next is to pop that onto my card base. Now it does look a little bit sparse, so perhaps we could add a few wee bits here and there, just a few wee bits of this nice wee leaf. Oh. There we go. Because it does look a little bit sparse. And there we go. I don't want too many on it because then that will kind of spoil what I was trying to actually do in the beginning. That'll be fine. So I want to corner the edges off as well. So I'm cornering that edge and that edge, so the diagonal edges, and that's fine. And the same with this one. I'm going to corner off this end and this end. There we go. And I will do this one as well, just to keep it coordinated, like so. Yep, I think I'm going to just add that to my project, and then we can put a sentiment onto it. It's not a Stampin' Up! Tape runner because I don't have any of them at the minute, but I will be getting adhesives in my next order. And then we're just going to add that on as well. But before I actually do that, I've got some nice black organdy glitter. If I can find it. Glitter ribbon somewhere. I do have it. But my ribbon box is just a mess. I'm sure I've got black organdy. Where are you? It doesn't want to be found today, it's hiding. It's hiding today. It seems to be hiding, yeah. Bear with me, folks, while I look for it. It is here. It's not jumping out at me. Can't find it, so we'll just leave it. We'll just pop this down. Like so, with an even border around it. Still quite rough there. So I want to pop a wee sentiment on. So I'm going to just cut something out here. I'm not going to use anything like a punch or anything. I'm just going to cut a piece here. Just going to stay with me while I sort this out. So I'm just going to cut that at a slight angle, and then the same here. Quite a big piece, so to cut that a wee bit more at that side. There we go. Not too big. I have to cut this a little bit smaller, but just bear with me as I try something. I need to cut that one down. Right. That's good. Let's see. No, it's too big because I don't want to cut that flower off, because that's the whole point, isn't it? So I've cut that in half, and I'll cut this one in half too. So let's see what we can do here. There we go. Yep. Just trim that down. And trim this because it's a little bit squint. That's better. So I'm trying to decide my card be better going that way with the sentiment down there. Yeah, I think that's better. I've also, because I didn't find the organdy black, which is a shame, I've got a little bit of white ribbon which I am going to use. So I'm going to just pop that into a bow. So you make 2 loops, fold them over, and pull one of the loops through the hole to make your ribbon, and just pull until you've got 2 loops, and then just take time to pull these back to where you want them to go. I know people find it hard to make bows, but I think if you keep practicing that kind of technique, I was taught that technique when I first started making cards, and I've stuck to it, you'll find you get a really nice bow. So we're going to cut these ends off. Might have to cut them further. And I'm going to find a quick little greeting from here that will fit, and I think I'll just have hello on this from Quite Curvy. And I'll just get a block. And I'll be using my Memento ink again. I'm just going to use the piece that I've cut for the sentiment. And then I'm going to pop the little leaf just on the side there, and on the side, that side up the way. Okay, and then I'm going to add these. So I'm going to stick that one onto the black card that I've cut out, and it's not the straightest, so I'm going to just try and straighten it a wee bit more. I've got, let's see, that bit's still a bit squint as well. And take a wee bit more off of that, looks a wee bit better. So, we're just going to add these now. So, I will rub out these lines properly. So I'm just going to pop that on there. Now I know it's a bit squint, but it is a handmade card, and people shouldn't be frightened to put on their own sentiments that they make, because you know that does show your creativity and individuality, and I do like to be individual and creative all at once. There's nothing wrong with using the tools that you've got, but there's nothing wrong with doing this either. So I'm just going to pop these up onto, I had some dimensionals. I've got some small dimensionals here. So I'm just going to pop that onto the back, like so. And then I've got some glue dots from a kit, you know, that I'm going to use. You know, don't put things like that out in the bin. Try and, if you've got extra stuff from kits and things, you know, try and use it. That's what I say. So we'll take these backing off the dimensionals, and just going to stick that on here. And as I say, I will rub out, that's good looking. We'll rub out these lines, and I'm just going to pop that, I think, on the edge there. So I am going to cut it down even more because it's too long. So I'm just cutting it at a slight angle, and I've got these, as I say, glue dots from a kit that I had. So I'm just going to put one here on the back. And I might put another one on here at this bit, just to make sure it stays in place, because you don't want your ribbon falling off. So just at the back of the loops, at the back of there, and that should be fine. And then just take the backing off if you can. Says she. Just bear with, folks. That's it. That's one. Just as a very slight sticky backing. You can see that sticky as it's stuck to my fingers there. There we go. So just pop that where you want it to go, and I want mine to go here. So we'll stick that bit down and that bit. And then we can't forget a little bit of bling. So I have got some nice rhinestones here that I want to use. So I'm just going to add those into the mix, and then they will be done. So I'm just going to pop one there, and then pop a couple all over in between. And as I say, I'll definitely rub out these lines. I just don't have the rubber on me at the minute. So that's a quick card using the very small little stamp from Quite Curvy Christmas in monochrome. So if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel,